What's up, football fans? Ryan Kostrowski, DFS 5-Pack. We are sitting here on the 30th of September. It is a Thursday. We got the NFL Game of the Year. Haha, JK, LOL. Not really. We got the Bengals hosting the Jaguars tonight. This isn't one that is made for the ages or anything like that. This is not the Rams Bucks. This is not Bucks Patriots or anything like that. But we got football tonight. So that is a reason to celebrate right there. So if you can, slide that finger of yours over to the thumbs up button, click it, subscribe to the station if you're new to it, and if you want a membership to be a 5-Pack for the NFL season or for both sports running at the same time, all memberships available through the website. That being said, guys, let's jump right into today's Showdown picks, and I wish you all the best of luck tonight. Again, as far as the NFL package goes, it's up on the website. I'll do the same thing that we had going Monday. In honor of a very fun victory on Sunday night, Rodgers plus Adams is 29, so we're doing a $29 rebate on the NFL package. So it's going to be under $100 if purchased today. It gets the rest of the season, playoffs included. Let's talk about number one pick for the day, Joe Burrow. Yeah, he's pricey. Yeah, it's what to be expected with quarterbacks on Showdown slates, right? So this is kind of your keep it simple, stupid Occam razor play of the day. As of right now, it looks like Joe Mixon is going to be like very subtly higher owned than Joe Burrow. I don't know if that holds true. It really doesn't matter, though. These two guys will be in chalk one and chalk two today. The Jags' pass defense is atrocious. They even traded away another cornerback this week, so it probably isn't going to get better on a short week like this, road game, everything like that. Burrow should have an excellent day. Now, is it possible they get an early lead and he doesn't throw a lot like last week? Yeah, it's possible, but it's a showdown. So the odds of him not being a top five scorer today, I mean, they're low. It exists. It can happen, but it's not the smartest bet on the board. So I think you just eat the chalk right here and you wildly consider him for the captain position. Next up is his running mate, his running back, Joe Mixon. Also going to be wildly popular today. Going to be huge chalk number two. Who finishes 1 and 2 between those guys? It doesn't really matter. You probably want them both in your roster. I can see a scenario, though, where Mixon doesn't succeed. So if I were to fade one of them, it would be Joe Mixon. But I only usually set one lineups for these showdowns, and they're going to have both of them. He might be the most popular captain. Again, him and Burrow are a clear 1-2 right here. This is a game that the Bengals are supposed to win. So with it being home against an 0-3 Jacksonville team, expect the crowd and expect the public to load up on the Cincinnati Bengals, and it starts with the 1-2 option of Mixon and Burrow. Next up, let's talk about marvelous Marvin Jones, who's off to a great fantasy season to start the year. Lots and lots of targets. So, he's not Devontae Adams target share, but this guy's right up there right now towards the top of the NFL for the amount of targets that he warrants from his team. He's got, I believe, 27, 28 targets on the year already. That's a lot. That's a real nice target share. He is clearly the favorite target of Trevor Lawrence right now over Shenault, over Chark. Doesn't mean that won't change, but as of right now, the veteran wide receiver has been eating a lot of targets. So, who would you rather roster, him or Trevor Lawrence? Well, in a vacuum where money's not included, give me Trevor Lawrence. Jones is currently averaging more points than Trevor Lawrence, but it's only by like 1. And that is something it's not safe, quote unquote, or even close to it. So give me Trevor Lawrence if you can get there. But if you can't, it's a safe assumption to anticipate the Jacksonville Jaguars are throwing. Again, their defense is trash. There's no two ways around it. They are going to be down a lot this season and throwing a lot. It's kind of baptism by fire for the number one pick, Trevor Lawrence. He's had a lot of growing pains so far. He's going to continue to have more of them. This is a bad football team. There's a reason they had the number one pick last year. So Jones has been getting a ton of touches, a lot of looks, and I don't see any reason why that's going to stop this week. Next up, let's talk about Jacob Hollister of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So the keys here at 1, O'Shawn Hennessy is out. And Dan Arnold, he's been there for about 2 whiskey drinks. He just got there this week. They made a trade for him. They lost that cornerback. They got Dan Arnold, who's a fine player, not great or anything like that, but he's only been there to digest so much of it. So I'm going to assume that for this week, Jacob Hollister is probably still, maybe not all of them, but still getting a good number of looks out of the passing game. So he had 6 targets last week. 2 of them were picked off. 1 of them was on Hollister. I don't know. They don't have a lot of options, though, right? Like, you need a tight end. And even though I think Dan Arnold's probably the guy as the season progresses, Probably not this week, right? He just got there. Now, I could be wrong. Been wrong before, will be wrong again, but I'm going to assume that Hollister is kind of the man this week. And the man being a very loose interpretation of that because, again, he had 6 targets last week. If I had to bet the over or the under on that, I'd bet the under. But he's $1,000. And you know how the showdowns play out. They're very, very top heavy. You want the quarterbacks, the running backs, and the wide receivers. The mid-tier often sucks the way they price it out. So you need a cheap guy. Now, if you want to go full contrarian and stack the good big money Jags guys and play a cheap Bengal, thinking that maybe things get flipped the script this week, I can get on board with that in GPPs. Speaking of GPPs, check out the Bengals defense. So again, the common sense approach to this game, the odds are with it, is stack the Bengals offensive players, and they're supposed to win this game. However, Trevor's got 9 turnovers through 3 games, and the Bengals defense has played all right, man. They're getting after the quarterback. They got 10 sacks through 3 games. The Jags are always throwing. That's when bad things tend to happen. If the Bengals can get an early lead in this game and Lawrence is just dropping back to pass over and over and over and over again, I like the idea of the Bengals defense. I think if the Bengals defense was cheap, it would get love today. But because it's not, it's going to be lower owned. Like my guess, 10 to 20%. In the captain position, like 2% maybe. So if you're trying to get really, really weird with it, why couldn't Trevor Lawrence throw a pick 6 today? Maybe 2 of them, right? Like if they get down, the Bengals defense could eat right here. And the thing about the Bengals defense of eating, especially if they can get the ball in the end zone on the defensive side of things, like that cuts into Joe Burrow a lot. So it's an interesting idea. Only in GPPs, but I do like them overall. They are in a good spot today. So they probably wouldn't make my cash lineup because of the price tag, but an interesting play nonetheless. And that's it, guys. That's what I got for Thursday. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Best of luck this evening. Let's get that money. These showdowns have gotten really, really tight. If you guys remember a couple of years ago, there was more of a discrepancy. And even though it's like a winning record on the year right now, I mean, they come down to like the last 2 minutes of the game, it seems like every single time. Thank you, Zach Ertz, for the win on Monday night. He was big. But even that one, that was super, super tight. So just the way that things are in the showdowns right now. And if you play weird with it trying to win GPPs, you usually just end up losing your money. So they are not easy, but still a winning record on the year. So let's keep it rolling. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.